Hello ladies and gentlemen, today...
Cancelling the apocalypse!
No, we're not quite going that far, but we are answering one of the great unknowns that plagues the Pokemon universe. Who is better, Caterpie or Weedle? So we were talking, and Sam was talking smack about my Weedle, saying it couldn't fight for shit, at the same time bigging up his own Caterpie that it's been pro-trained and it could kick Weedle's ass. But hold on, Caterpie is god-awful, no one picked that in the game. Butterfree was absolutely garbage, you would only use it to beat Roxonix if you picked Charmander, that's it. It was so bad, even Ash saw how shit it was in the anime, and he released it. Weedle, on the other hand, I'm going to say, is the Pokemon that has single-handedly knocked out the most Pokemon ever in the history of Pokemon. I mean, come on, how many times has your starter been knocked out by poison, when you're desperately trying to get back to the Pokemon Center in Viridian City, but then your Pokemon faints 2 steps away from the counter? I mean, Weedle is the only reason Antidote was ever made in the game, and the only reason you would ever buy Antidote. Without Antidote, Weedle would have been banned for sure. But anyway, let's get into the teams. So Sam's brought a pretty standard NU team, to be honest. It's kind of a whorish team. I mean, these Pokemon see a lot of usage. The big threat's probably going to be Caterpie, because if it is one of the extreme killer variants and it gets up a Sword Stance, that could be game over right there. So let's just get straight into it. I figured he'd leave with Caterpie just for that reason, that he might try and set up and just try and sweep from here. So I can just leave with my...
Una Matata. What a wonderful phrase. It means no worries for the rest of your day.
So I know Kakuna is a pretty good check to Caterpie. Thankfully he doesn't seem to be an extreme speed sweeper, but instead seems to be a specially orientated Caterpie, which isn't a massive problem because I am max HP, max special defense, and by the amount it's doing I would guess choice specs, but just in case he's bluffing the specs and wants to go for the V-Crate or something, I do buffer my weaker defense stat with the Iron Defense. And for those of you who don't know, Caterpie is the pre-evolution of Victini as well. I mean, there are some quite obvious design similarities. I mean, come on, both of them have eyes. And look at the flaming V coming off Caterpie's forehead. That's an obvious V-Crate if I ever saw one. However, because I am defensive, the amount I'm doing back to him with my own Electro Webs and Poison Sting is just absolutely awful damage. And of course, secondary effects won't come into effect because of Caterpie's shield disability. So I go into Weedle thinking I can take an Electro Web better than I do, but I have to save Weedle for later, so I go into a V-Drill to threaten him out. And he does in fact switch, seeing that Caterpie is a huge threat to my team at the minute, so he goes into his own defensive wall of Metapod, and I go for the agility on the switch to get myself back up to +1, but I just want to see how much a Poison Jab will do, and it's looking like it's going to be a 3-hit KO. So Poison Hacks and Shed Skin Hacks create instant Hacks karma, because the Hacks gods know this clash is far too important to be decided by Hacks, and how many times can I say Hacks in one sentence? As eventually V-Drill finishes off Metapod, although it does put me at -1 speed, and that is absolutely crucial because it means Butterfree can just come in and outspeed me, finish me off with a Psychic, and that really threw me off guard. Butterfrees are never specially based, pretty much 95% of Butterfrees are the standard Quiver-Dance Giga Impact sets. Seeing that he's special, I can go back into
Una Matata. What a wonderful phrase.
So he goes to Sleep Powder and then Quiver Dances before hitting me with the Giga Impact. As it turns out, he's more of a mix set, which is a little bit strange. He chooses to carry Psychic instead of the standard Crush Claw, but it worked out for him before against V-Drill. So Kakuna's doing a really good job of taking hits, but unfortunately his +1 special defense from the Quiver Dance does mean that those super effective Electro Webs aren't doing as much as I'd like, and eventually Butterfree does take me down. So it comes down to this, in comes the huge threat which is Weedle. I didn't want to have to resort to this, but Weedle does get Roar of Time from my Dream World or your Nightmare World, and I can't absolutely smash that Butterfree with a Dragon Gem boosted Roar of Time. Unfortunately I score absolute min damage, so it doesn't quite take him out, but on the recharge turn he switches to Caterpie, and this is it. Judgment Day, Caterpie and Weedle are trading blows until... a crit. Hacks gods, no. Why? Weedle, no! How could you do this to me? Oh, I can't keep this facade going any longer. But seriously, Weedle, I've let you down and I will keep going until you're avenged. But anyway, thank you very much, Sam. Don't believe anything you just heard in that video, it was all bullshit. And I hope you all enjoyed that, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.